If you are engaging in program review for the first time, you might have some questions. While every institutional context is different, this video will provide a basic overview of program review facilitated by the Illinois Community College Board for the state's public community college system. So what is program review? According to Dr. Trudy Bears, program review can be defined as a type of evaluation of an instructional support, student service, or administrative program, department, or unit. For Illinois community colleges, the ICCB identifies 3 primary purposes for statewide program review. These include support strategic campus-level planning and decision-making related to instructional programming and academic support services, including but not limited to program revisions, program closures, and revisions to services, address inequities to support program improvement, and support the delivery of locally responsive, cost-effective, high-quality programs and services across Illinois' community college system. The ICCB Program Review Manual is divided up into these 4 areas with corresponding templates to guide the review process: career and technical education, or CTE, academic disciplines, cross-disciplinary instruction, and student and academic support services. Within the manual is a schedule that outlines a 5-year cycle for all programs within each of the 4 areas. However, institutions are strongly encouraged to conduct an annual review process. In fact, ICCB has created the annual program review template as a resource for colleges to adopt this best practice. The development of the template has been informed by practitioners across the state that are part of the Program Review Advisory Committee. This leads us to a discussion of why program review is so important. Again, we turn to the work of Dr. Bears as she highlights the relationship between program review and overall institutional effectiveness. Program reviews concentrate on units within the institution, and institutional effectiveness concentrates holistically on the organization. Put another way, program review focuses on the micro level and institutional effectiveness on the macro level. Neither supplants or replaces the other. Both are important for a comprehensive understanding of quality at a community college, and both point to opportunities for improvement, as well as strengths to be nurtured and sustained. Furthermore, when we think about institutional accreditation, the Higher Learning Commission identifies program review as a core component of Criterion 4, teaching and learning, evaluation and improvement. More specifically, the HLC looks to see that the institution maintains a practice of regular program reviews and acts upon the findings, and further states that the institution uses information on student retention, persistence, and completion of programs to make improvements as warranted by the data. We want to highlight the importance of acting on the findings. The value of program review to advancing institutional improvement is lost if it's only done with compliance in mind. Rather, the process should be utilized as a tool to advance continuous improvement within individual programs that span the divisions of the college and inform overall strategic planning through actionable items toward improvement. Now that we understand what program review is in the context of Illinois public community colleges and why it's important, what does this process look like? The reality is that the process looks different across our community colleges, which are all situated in distinct districts with unique organizational structures and resources. However, the Program Review Manual provides general guidance for what this process should look like on an individual campus. This includes, at a minimum, systematically examine the need, cost, and quality of individual programs and services, ensuring that programs continue to be responsive to local needs, cost efficient, and integrate quality components into programming. Involve faculty and appropriate administrators who are directly responsible for the areas being reviewed, as well as faculty, academic support professionals, and administrators from across the campus as appropriate. Employ relevant information, such as assessment results appropriate to the unit, as well as comparative data on enrollments, completions, and costs using the most recent audited state-level data. Be responsive to identified areas of weakness by developing and implementing feasible and measurable action steps. Include the use of disaggregated data to uncover and address equity gaps in programming, performance, or service. Assure that the process is well documented and use the results to inform campus planning initiative, quality improvement efforts, and budget allocation decisions. Report results and actions resulting from reviews to local boards, advisory committees, and other stakeholders as appropriate. Adhere to a minimum review cycle of once every 5 years for all programs listed in the program review schedule. As institutions develop the process by which they conduct program review, it's also important to consider another group of stakeholders, students. Dr. Shante Thrill has written a brief for OCCRL that is especially helpful in advancing the incorporation of student voice in the program review process. In order to fulfill the expectations of ICCB, the program review process must incorporate data analysis. In particular, the disaggregation of data is critical to identifying equity gaps at the program, department, and institutional levels. This focus on equity is pertinent to meeting state goals to close equity gap in educational attainment for racially minoritized and historically underserved populations. In addition, for those programs situated within career and technical education, it's imperative to consider the expanded special populations identified by Perkins 5 legislation. These include individuals with disabilities, individuals from economically disadvantaged families, including low-income youth and adults, individuals preparing for non-traditional fields, single parents, including single pregnant women, out-of-workforce individuals, English learners, homeless individuals, youth who are in or have aged out of the foster care system, and youth with a parent who is a member of the armed forces and is on active duty. As we think about historical and ongoing inequities, let's recall again that the Higher Learning Commission is looking for institutions to not only conduct program review, but to act upon the findings of these review processes. So as you engage in the program review process, remember that what you learn should be grounded in data, identify specific equity gaps, and cause you to act. The action that you take should be directly tied to what you learned from the review and evaluated annually to allow for continuous improvement. Furthermore, what you learn from individual program reviews should be shared broadly to inform overall institutional improvement. ICCB and OCCRL have a variety of resources to support you in facilitating program review at your institution and within your individual program. These resources include the Pathways to Results and Program Review Illinois projects found at occrl.illinois.edu. Stay connected to OCCRL through our mailing lists to keep up to date on opportunities to connect with colleagues across the state and engage in professional development specific to advancing high-quality program review processes that advance equitable outcomes for community college students in Illinois.